Doamnelor și domnilor, bun găsit! La finalul lunii iunie, în Olanda, la Haga, va avea loc un summit NATO istoric. Un summit de la care ne așteptăm să modifice, dacă nu arhitectura de securitate în zona europeană, măcar să rearanjeze echilibrul de forțe în această zonă. Țara organizatoare, așa cum spuneam, este Olanda, Regatul Țărilor de Jos, și astăzi ne aflăm într-un interviu cu ambasadoarea Regatului Țărilor de Jos în România, doamna Willemijn van Haaften. Hello, thank you for talking to us today.
Good morning.
And welcome to Euronews Romania.
Thank you very much.
About organizing the summit. It's going to be a huge event. A lot of heads of state and government will be there. And in terms of security, it is going to be a big effort. Could you tell us what it takes for a country to organize such an event under these circumstances today?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we are actually very proud to host the next NATO summit. The Netherlands is a founding member of the alliance. We are committed to international peace and security. We have a long tradition in this area, so we are extremely proud to be the hosts of the next NATO summit. And like you say, it will be a huge operation. I'm also looking forward to a huge success.
I've been reading about security arrangements such as, F-35 planes, patrolling Apache helicopters, air exclusion zone of about 22 kilometers along the coast, and all the countries, the bordering countries, taking part in this effort.
Yes, we want to make sure, of course, our first and foremost concern is that the summit be a success, and the success also depends on creating a very safe environment for the summit to take place. So we are really taking every measure we possibly can to ensure the total safety and security of all the participants, of all the heads of state and their delegations during their stay in the Netherlands. This does indeed take a lot of effort, but like I said, it is for the good of the alliance, and we are very proud to be able to do it like that.
As we speak, we had a bit of news coming from the Netherlands about the government there. How are things going to unfold? Is there something going on to affect the organizing of the summit?
Yes, we had a government crisis in the coalition this morning, leading to the decision to end the current four-party coalition. But I want to reassure everybody that this is not going to affect in any kind of way the organization of the summit.
Why?
The organization of the summit itself is done by a large team of professional people. And it is not affected by the status of politicians. What is happening now on the political side is that the government will change from an acting government to a caretaking government. And that will last as long as it takes to organize new elections and to form a new coalition. We don't know exactly what the time frame for that will be because it's all very fresh and we have to look into that. But you can be assured that the organization of the summit is a completely professional organization. So the changes are in the sense of, unfortunately, our Prime Minister will be a caretaker Prime Minister, our Minister of Defense will be a caretaker Minister of Defense, but that is the only thing that is going to change.
And about the expenses, the caretaker government will be able to...
Yes, because all the ongoing affairs of state can be managed as they have been planned. There will not be room for new initiatives, but the organization of the summit is not a new initiative as we are 3 weeks only from it. So.
And we will be under this government.
We will be
absolutely. At
yes,
time.
because I do not expect elections to be held before the summit. So it will be the current government, but in a caretaker capacity.
We all expect this summit, as I said, to be a historic one. To somehow the leaders attending it to have talks and somehow redefine NATO under these circumstances today, with the war in Ukraine and with all the talks with the partners in the United States. What is your opinion about it? How does the Netherlands look at this?
Yes, well, I think what is important to bear in mind is that the historic circumstances are first and foremost defined by the aggression of Russia, of its full-scale invasion in 2022. Actually, already its actions in 2014 that have led to the alliance rethinking a little bit about itself. I think the summit will be a huge success. I think we will see a united and a determined alliance. And yes, I know that there are current discussions going on about should we increase our defense expenditure. That is a very legitimate question in the eyes of the aggression of Russia at the moment. And I think, but I think we should really bear in mind that the alliance in itself, it stands. And for us as the Netherlands, and we share that vision with Romania, the alliance is what counts in terms of peace and security on our continent. So there are no alternatives. The transatlantic relationship is the most important one within the alliance, and all the other things we can discuss, such as increase of defense spending. I saw, for example, the declaration by the B9 countries who pledged the willingness to increase their defense spending up to 5%. I think that is wonderful. All of that will contribute to an even stronger alliance in the future.
So in terms of Europe undertaking this effort of securing the continent, it would not be necessarily realistic if we think about it without taking the United States into account.
I think the United States have no intention. They have not expressed any intention to want to leave this alliance. They have continuously underlined that they attach great importance to NATO. So I think we should think among ourselves as European partners about what we can do to strengthen our own security under the umbrella of the alliance. Because the alliance consists of all of us. The security of each and every one of us contributes to the security of the alliance. So the more we invest in our own security, the stronger the alliance will become as a result. And I think that is what we should concentrate on. And I don't see a future of anything next to the alliance or as an alternative to the alliance. But I also don't see the need for that, because I'm convinced that the United States will remain in the alliance and will remain a partner as they are now.
Yes, but the problem also is regarding the relationship between the countries that form this alliance and Russia, which invaded Ukraine and is committing this war of aggression. So there are countries, including the United States, that are, trying to open up a dialogue, of course, trying to stop the war. But the points of view differ in Europe and in the United States. And again, it's about countries that all of them are members of NATO.
Well, I think a bit of discussion is inevitable if you have an alliance consisting of 32 countries. And I think that's also good, because I think it is good that we we have different positions. It's a logical thing for an alliance of 32 nations. The NATO is not at war with Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. And there are many countries inside and outside NATO who are supporting Ukraine in order to defend itself. So there are various efforts by individual countries. The Netherlands is contributing until now over 17 billion euros, both to military and non-military support to Ukraine. I know Romania has been extending a lot of support to Ukraine and to Ukrainians. So I think we should not let our differences of opinion stand in the way of the main effort that we all share, which is to continue to support Ukraine to defend itself against the Russian aggression, and on the other hand, this internal discussions about how we can make our alliance stronger, because deterrence and defense is what our alliance is for, and that is what it will remain, and that we have discussions among ourselves about how to do that. That's very excellent. That is why we will meet in The Hague to discuss these things further. Yes. Yes.
Also, talking about redefining NATO's role, NATO has been expanding, and the security area that it offers has been expanding. But right now we have some discussions also about that, because, for instance, we witnessed the Polish elections, and we have Mr. Nawrocki now in the president of Poland. Mr. Nawrocki has signed a pledge that he would never agree, he would veto eventually an accession of Ukraine to NATO. And there are leaders saying that it's absolutely not a possibility for Ukraine to join NATO in the near future. That triggered a response in Kyiv and from the ambassadors. How do you see that? It's not quite just a discussion between friends. It's about the philosophy of this alliance that has been providing security and has been securing democracies over the years.
Yeah. Well, I think it is right now our first priority is and should remain to support Ukraine to defend itself against the Russian aggression. Everybody inside and outside NATO supports efforts that will lead to sustainable peace. But so far, it is difficult to see that the Russians are really committed to such efforts. So this will take a bit of time. And I think what should be our first priority right now is really discussions about how we can strengthen the existing alliance. And what we as Europeans can do to strengthen security on our continent. And it is a bit difficult for me to comment on the situation in Poland because I don't know the Polish politics enough, but I'm sure that such talks will come in due time, and that we should focus right now really on our first priority, which is strengthening our own alliance and at the same time continuing our support to Ukraine. That's important.
Because we're talking about Ukraine, and you mentioned the support coming from the Netherlands of over 17 billion, I think it's around 20 billion, really.
Almost, yes.
Euros. How can the countries in Europe support Ukraine for the future? How do you see that?
Well, there are a lot of different ways in which countries can and are supporting Ukraine. And I think it is important that we continue to do so for as long as it takes. That is really also the pledge that the Netherlands have made. I know that is also the firm conviction of Romania and the Romanian government. We are cooperating in those efforts, and that goes from things we do together, like the European F-16 training center, where we train Ukrainian F-16 pilots so that they can fly the planes that are being given to them.
Which is in
Fetest.
Romania.
Yes.
And we're talking about 18.
We're talking about 18 F-16 airplanes in Romania in order to train pilots, but we are also, the Netherlands is also a member of the F-16 smaller alliance, which is providing F-16 airplanes to Ukraine. So in Romania is the training center for the pilots in order to allow Ukrainian pilots to be able to fly F-16 airplanes. At the same time, the F-16 training center serves to train Romanian pilots and maybe other pilots from countries in the alliance who are currently transforming their air force into an F-16 led air force, and Romania is not the only country. But this is only one example of our support to Ukraine, because there's many, many more. There is military support, but there's also support in the reconstruction of the country, but there's also support in currently keeping up its energy infrastructure, being able to heat houses in the winter, being able to repair what is being destroyed by the Russians. And so there are long-term and short-term assistance. There is assistance, for example, in the area of the judiciary, of the documentation of war crimes that are being committed at the moment, and that will be needed once the war is over, and there can be some form of justice for those that have been the victims of war crimes. So there are very many different ways in which we can support Ukraine, and in which we are supporting Ukraine, be it unilaterally or bilaterally or as part of a group of countries.
The Black Sea has always been a hot potato, so to speak, but now it's even hotter. How do you see the situation there? Because it's a point of interest for many countries, and we are seeing also Turkey in that group of countries, which is the biggest NATO army, second biggest NATO army. How do you see the situation evolving at the Black Sea?
Yeah, the Black Sea is very important. We've just seen also the European Union has come out only a few days ago with a new strategy on the Black Sea, which I think is a very good one, because it combines not only issues of security, but also includes issues of prosperity and issues of resilience, and these things go hand in hand. So the Black Sea is a lot of things, and it is very important for Europe as a whole. And I have to commend Romania, because Romania is one of the countries which inside the European Union have always advocated a lot for the Black Sea perspective, and including the Black Sea perspective in European policies. The Netherlands has supported these efforts already for quite a while, so I'm happy to see this new strategy, and it's a very good one with some very good initiatives that will come out of it.
Mm-hmm. And another hot potato would be Moldova, because Moldova is not a NATO member, not a EU member yet, and they have a very delicate position, somehow near Ukraine, and in some kind of a buffer zone between Europe and the Russians. How do you see the situation there?
Yeah, and there the situation, we share also very much the same vision as Romania does. The Netherlands is also, like Romania, strongly supporting the Republic of Moldova in its accession process to the European Union, but also with concrete support efforts to make it more resilient, for example, against hybrid warfare, to make it, to allow the country to adapt its legislation to the European Union legislation, which will make the process of EU accession easier. So we are, like Romania, very much in line, both countries, in our strong support for the Republic of Moldova, because they are in a dire situation, as you are saying, yes.
It's very reassuring to see that these countries, Romania and the Netherlands, are really coming together these days. The cooperation is stronger and closer than ever.
Yes.
What can you tell us from your position as ambassador of of Netherlands to Romania about this bilateral cooperation, because we see security, a lot of security, but there's also economic cooperation, commercial.
Yes, I'm actually very happy because I think our ties have not been this good for a long time, so they are really excellent at the moment, and it's always very nice to be able to contribute to that as an embassy and as an embassy team. There are a really wide variety of examples that I could give, but one of them which I like is, for example, the Romanian contribution to the NATO summit, to come back to our first topic, because it is because of our excellent police cooperation that some of the people involved in the security of the summit have been doing their trainings in Romania, because Romania has excellent facilities for such things. So this is an example of how close we are and how closely we are cooperating. But there is many other things, like you say. There is culture. There is in Bucharest, we will have the UNESCO festival coming up in August, September. There will be 2 big Dutch orchestras that people can listen to in that framework. There is a lot of economic cooperation. There are companies going back and forth. There is a large trade. There is large Dutch investments into Romania. There is a lot of exchange. There are a lot of Romanian students going to Dutch universities. There is exchange and cooperation in very many fields. So we are at the moment looking at excellent relationships. Yes, that's very true.
Madam Ambassador, thank you very much for this interview.
You're most welcome. Thank you very much.